This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. U.S. policy in the Middle East has become much more uncertain in the wake of the killing of a top Iranian general. As a result, we are seeing stocks lower in trading. The owner of Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and KFC is adding hamburgers to its lineup. Yum Brands is buying Habit Restaurants for $375 million. Habit sells char-grilled burgers, ahi tuna sandwiches, and milkshakes from about 300 locations. JetBlue said it will become the first large American airline to offset emissions from all of its domestic flights, aiming to become carbon neutral by July. JetBlue declined to disclose the cost of the offset program, but said it won't increase airfares as a result. And the XFL has signed a multi-year deal with Genius Sports that's designed to protect the fledgling football league from improper sports betting. Genius Sports, which has similar partnerships with the PGA Tour, will help the XFL build a so-called integrity program to guard against fixed games. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
The market's in focus every business day. The P&L Podcast with Paul Sweeney and Lisa Abramowitz.
Are there some sectors that you want to have more or less exposure to?
What's behind this engine of gains?
Analysis of the day's Wall Street action.
The U.S. market looks relatively safe.
From Bloomberg Intelligence, Bloomberg Opinion, and influential newsmakers.
Ward McCarthy joins us right now.
P&L with Paul Sweeney and Lisa Abramowitz. Listen today on Bloomberg.com, the Bloomberg Business app, or subscribe on Apple Podcasts.
Are you in? This ain't just lunch. It's the KFC fill-up lunch for $1.99. It's mighty fine. Tingles your spine, so jump in line, because it's time to dine on a mini fillet burger, 2 hot wings, and fries, all for a fist-pumping $1.99. What the KFC fill-up lunch every day until 3 p.m. At participating restaurants every day from 2nd to 26th of January until 3 p.m. only, subject to availability.
Hello, I'm here at the Race for Life Pretty Muddy with Great Britain's Jayanti Kaur. Jayanti, do you have a message for the millions tuned in at home?
What are you talking about? Millions of people aren't tuning in to witness me doing a muddy obstacle course.
Well, they absolutely should, Jayanti. You're a remarkable athlete.
I'm a geography teacher.
We're not athletes, we're cancer beaters. Sign up to Race for Life now and get 30% off entry until the 31st of January in partnership with Tesco.
You don't just live in one room, so why should your Wi-Fi? With Sky Broadband's Wi-Fi guarantee, you'll get Wi-Fi in every room or money back. Perfect for food shopping in the bedroom, gaming in your PJs in the lounge, or streaming sci-fi movies in the kitchen. Get Sky's super-fast broadband and Wi-Fi guarantee. £32 a month for 18 months with $19.95 setup. Click on the banner now.
Sky Fibre errors, Sky Kit required. Refund on boost component of subscription paid during current minimum term up to date of claim. Minimum 3 megabits per second or money back. Prices may change during minimum term. See sky.com/guarantee.
Introducing a new podcast, ESPN Daily. When you want to go beyond your feed, when you want to get inside the score, when you want to get behind the highlight, there's ESPN Daily. Go deeper into the stories of the moment. Get the exclusive access and insider perspective that only ESPN can give you. ESPN Daily, hosted by me, Mina Kimes. Listen and favorite ESPN Daily on TuneIn.
We can't make traffic move faster during rush hour, but we can help you catch up on the news with TuneIn. With live around-the-clock news from MSNBC.
In the UK, they're significantly worse. When the president gets up to the podium...
CNBC and Fox News Talk.
The Fox News poll sizing up the race for 2020 found that each of the 5 top Democrats...
You can use your stop and go for good by staying in touch with the world. Search news to hear what's happening now.
Want to hear about the latest and greatest things to listen to on TuneIn? For reminders of the biggest live sports games, debates, and breaking news stories, follow @TuneIn on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay connected with the audio that matters to you.
Pascal gobbles up the rebound and slams it down.
Catch your favorite NBA team right here on TuneIn.
A step back deep three is up and in.
Search NBA on TuneIn and hear all the action. The NBA lives on TuneIn.
Cutting for the net, scores! On the goal line, Marshawn scores!
On
Hockey fans, the 2019-20 NHL season is here.
And tucks it home!
And with this team, it's really fun to be a part of a team like that.
And you can hear the action live on TuneIn Premium. From regular season action to the All-Star Game and through the Stanley Cup in June. Hear the home and away call for every game, for every team live. At home or on the go, never miss a game with the NHL on TuneIn Premium.
Upgrade today.
Hello, I'm Nat Coombs from ESPN's The Nat Coombs Show, which admittedly is 1 out of 10 for original podcast name, but 10 out of 10 for NFL chat. Every week, we're dropping 4 episodes with an all-pro lineup of terrific guests, journalists, comedians, players, coaches, you name it, all getting you up to speed with everything gridiron. The Nat Coombs Show, American football, British accent. Add to your favorites and listen on TuneIn.
Broadcasting live from the Bloomberg Interactive Broker Studio in New York. Bloomberg 1130 to Washington, D.C. Bloomberg 99.1 to Boston. Bloomberg 106.1 to San Francisco. Bloomberg 960 to the country. Sirius XM Channel 119. And around the globe, the Bloomberg Business app and BloombergRadio.com. This is Bloomberg Markets.
Coming up, we're going to get the latest on the ongoing saga that is ex-Nissan boss Carlos Ghosn and his escape from Japan to Lebanon. Absolutely fascinating story. We'll get the latest there. Plus, we're going to take a look at emerging markets, where to invest in emerging markets in a world with heightened geopolitical risks. But first, let's go to Greg Jarrett of Bloomberg News for a Bloomberg Business Flash. Greg.
Hi, thank you, Paul. The S&P has erased pretty much all of its earlier decline to trade little change. Traders are weighing just how this conflict between the U.S. and Iran is going to shape out, how it's going to affect global markets. Bank shares are leading losses while tech heavyweights are pushing the NASDAQ higher. Bernhard Varnholt, a Credit Suisse, tells Bloomberg the increased Mideast tensions, in his opinion, could force an issue.
The Santa rally that we've seen in markets last year was making them prone to some sort of correction, and arguably this could be it. This could be the correction which probably gives way to another buying opportunity, because that's what geopolitical crises do. Unless they cause recessions, which we don't think this one will, they give way to buying opportunities, but we're probably not there yet.
Quite a turnaround so far today. We check the markets every 15 minutes throughout the trading day on Bloomberg Radio. S&P 500 is little changed. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 0.1%, down 38, and the NASDAQ's up 0.2%, up 17. The 10 years down 7.30 seconds. The yield is 1.81%. West Texas Intermediate crude is up 0.25% at 63.19 a barrel, while COMEX gold's up 0.7% at 15.6370 an ounce. The dollar yen is at 108.38. The euro's $1.1187, and the British pound $31.64. Bed Bath & Beyond, the home goods retailer, mired in a lengthy sales slump, is up after selling some real estate in the deal that generated net proceeds of more than $250 million. BB&B, Bed Bath & Beyond, is up 4.1%. That is a Bloomberg Business Flash. I'm Greg Jarrett.
You're listening to Bloomberg Markets with Lisa Abramowitz and Paul Sweeney on Bloomberg Radio.
As time continues, we are piecing together the movie that is Carlos Ghosn's life. Joining us now is Alan Katz, Financial Investigations Team Leader for Bloomberg News, based in Paris. And Alan, Bloomberg put out a piece this morning really detailing everything we know about his arrest, his 100 days in solitary confinement, through to his escape from Japan. Can you give us a sense of sort of the narrative here as it unfolds?
So the way it worked with Carlos Ghosn was that he was arrested back in November of 2018, and as you mentioned, he spent a lot of time in solitary confinement. They kept sort of releasing him and then rearresting him, and it was a very sort of confusing period. But things got a lot more pressure-packed in December of this year. So he'd already been either in jail or under house arrest for more than a year. And this December, he found out that his trial was likely to be delayed, possibly until 2021, sort of leaving him in a legal limbo for at least another year. Japanese prosecutors had begun interviewing some of his family members, including his son, Anthony, who they also accuse of having been involved in some of the financial shenanigans they claim that Carlos Ghosn was involved in. And there didn't seem to be any way out. And that appears to be sort of the real motive for him to leave now. But the other issue was an issue of opportunity, right? So when in any sort of spy, caper, Ocean's 11 type scenario, you need to have sort of that moment when the time is right to jump. And it appears that he'd been preparing this for months, dealing with people who have been specialized for decades in, exfiltrating executives who have been kidnapped or recovering abducted children or fighting on various sides of militia during a civil war. And he'd been dealing with them for months, but one of the things that came up just now was that there was a combination of, it was a holiday period in Japan, so government offices were going to be closed for several days at least, and one of the main groups that had been sort of following Ghosn every time he would leave his apartment were a series of private investigators paid for by Nissan. Ghosn's lawyer had protested this was violating his rights, and those investigators appear to have backed off, and so that gave Ghosn this moment, this sort of golden chance that he had to take, or felt he had to take, if he was ever going to get out of Japan, and so he did, and amazingly was successful in doing so.
Yeah, it's just an amazing story. So, Alan, I think the next big piece of news is Mr. Ghosn is saying he's going to have a press conference, I guess, in Lebanon sometime this week. Give us the details there, what we know.
He's going to speak in Lebanon on Wednesday at 3 p.m. local time, and he claims, or through his lawyers mostly, he claims that he is going to use this to try to press his case for why the allegations against him are untrue, politically motivated, part of a vendetta against him, both by people within Nissan, also from the Japanese government, in large part because of his effort to merge Nissan with Renault. As you may know, Renault, the French car maker, owns 43% of Nissan. Nissan owns 15% of Renault. But in this alliance that they've had for the last 20 years, Renault has essentially had the upper hand for most of the time, since it essentially saved Nissan from bankruptcy when they first did the deal. So this press conference is going to be essentially Ghosn's side of the story. Now he had one video press conference that he did while he was still under house arrest in Japan, which supposedly was going to unveil all sorts of new information that was going to be terrible for Nissan and great for Carlos Ghosn. Didn't really come up with much new, so it's not clear, at least not clear to me, that there's necessarily going to be a lot of new information or a lot of really exculpatory information that Ghosn is going to come out with on Wednesday, but it's certainly going to be exciting.
It's certainly going to be exciting. Exactly right. Alan Katz, thanks so much for joining us. Alan is a financial investigations team leader for Bloomberg News in our Paris bureau. What's a fascinating story continuing to unfold. I'm really looking forward to see what Mr. Ghosn says at this press conference on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Maybe get some more details.
As well as who plays Carlos Ghosn in the upcoming Hollywood biopic that we can expect. Right now in markets, a really interesting day. You're seeing a complete reversal with the NASDAQ now up 0.2% after having been down significantly ahead of the open. The S&P is basically flat. The Dow is down just 0.2%. You saw oil prices flirting with actually declining after having been up nearly 1% earlier today. Really a question here of what this symbolizes. Is it complacency? Is it a sense in markets this will just be a blip, a short-term disruption, and that the U.S. consumer will continue to power the economic recovery?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think as I synthesize what we heard this morning from Bloomberg Surveillance and Bloomberg Markets across radio and TV from some of the people who know this stuff, including the folks at Eurasia Group that Tom was at this morning, are really experts on the Middle East, kind of saying, there's definitely a capacity and to do some things in terms of striking back and retaliating. There really is not the willingness or capability perhaps to wage something wider spread, and I think that's kind of getting into the markets a little bit here. While there could certainly be instability, a wider conflict less likely.
Although, if you take a look across the board, you're seeing 10-year yields rise, 2-year yields rise. They had been lower ahead of the U.S. equity open. Gold, however, remains the stalwart. It is still at the highest level since April of 2013. So take that for what you will.
Absolutely. Right now, let's head down to our 99.1 studios in Washington, D.C. for world and national headlines with Nathan Hager. Nathan.
Now, Paul, we continue to monitor 3 days of national mourning in Iran following the death of General Qasem Soleimani. Tens of thousands packed the streets of the holy city of Qom as the top general's coffin was carried through. As the world braces for a potential Iranian response, President Trump is warning cultural sites could be targeted if Iran retaliates. The United Nations Cultural Agency is calling on governments to remember that cultural sites are not targets. Iraq's parliament has voted to expel U.S. troops in response to the drone strike that killed Soleimani in Baghdad. President Trump says any move like that would be met with sanctions against Iraq. As Congress returns to work, the start date for President Trump's impeachment trial in the Senate remains up in the air.
Democrats and Republicans have made no progress toward an agreement on trial rules. Minority Leader Charles Schumer says he isn't budging from his position that both sides agree now to allow more witnesses to testify on ABC's This Week.
Lots of new evidence that bolsters our case for witnesses and documents has come out.
On Fox News Sunday, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, a key White House ally, signaled Republicans want to wrap this up quickly.
This should be done in a couple of weeks.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is yet to transmit the articles of impeachment to the Senate. In Washington, Martin DeCaro, Bloomberg Radio.
A member of the Kennedy family is running against the New Jersey congressman who switched to the Republican Party over impeachment. Amy Kennedy says she will run as a Democrat to unseat Jeff Van Drew. Global news 24 hours a day on air and on Quick Take by Bloomberg, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries. This is Bloomberg.
Elite advisory firms rely on BNY Mellon's Pershing to meet the needs of their most complex clients. Karen Novak, Chief Operating Officer at Pershing Advisor Solutions, explains how.
At BNY Mellon's Pershing, we bring customized insights and strategies to help you grow your advisory business and stay on the leading edge. We can support the needs of your most sophisticated clients with a full range of investment and wealth management solutions, from access to private banking to consolidated bank and brokerage custody. Learn why so many of the largest advisory firms turn to us for the financial strength and high-touch service that BNY Mellon's Pershing can provide. Are you well positioned to stand out from your competition?
Learn more at Pershing.com or call 800-445-4467. Brokerage custody provided by Pershing LLC and other services provided by Pershing Advisor Solutions LLC. Both members of FINRA and SIPC. Private banking and bank custody provided by BNY Mellon NA. Member FDIC.
Message and data rates may apply. T&C and privacy terms can be found at babbel.com/terms. Please don't text and drive.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but you thought it'd be too hard or take too much time? Then try Babbel for free by texting EXPLORE to 64,000. In just 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. And right now, you can try Babbel for free. Babbel starts out teaching you words and phrases by matching them with pictures. You won't believe how easy the interactive program is. Soon the sentences get a little bigger, and before you know it, you're having simulated conversations voiced by native speakers. And because Babbel is crafted by language experts and uses the spaced repetition method, in just 10 to 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking the language of your choice with real confidence. With Babbel, you can speak a language. Just text EXPLORE to 64,000 and start your first lesson in the language of your choice for free. Download the Babbel app or text EXPLORE to 64,000 and try it for free. Text EXPLORE to 60.
Want TuneIn to remind you when the big NFL game is about to get underway? Be sure notifications are allowed on your phone and search NFL on the TuneIn app. Find the game you want to hear under events and tap Notify Me. We'll let you know exactly when it's time to listen in for kickoff. Hey, NFL fan, can't watch the game? Can't be there? No biggie. With your TuneIn Premium membership, you already have an all-access pass to every team and every game in the league. Amazing, right?
Steps up, floats it towards at the goal line. It's intercepted.
Listen live as the action unfolds, or on demand when you can. Anytime, anywhere, all season long.
Right side, it is caught. It is in for the right side for the touchdown.
Search NFL today.
You love TuneIn for live breaking news from CNN, MSNBC, Fox, CNBC, and more. But when you can't catch your favorite show as it airs, it might just be a click away as a podcast. Search your favorite news station to explore all the on-demand news shows on TuneIn.
Pascal gobbles up the rebound and slams it down.
Catch your favorite NBA team right here on TuneIn.
A step back, deep three, it's up and in.
Search NBA on TuneIn and hear all the action. The NBA lives on TuneIn.
Right now, instead of hearing this, you could be listening to the music that keeps you moving with TuneIn Premium. Find today's biggest songs and all of your favorites commercial-free. Visit TuneIn.com/premium to upgrade.
Want to hear about the latest and greatest things to listen to on TuneIn? For reminders of the biggest live sports games, debates, and breaking news stories, follow @TuneIn on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay connected with the audio that matters to you.
NFL playoffs are here. Make sure you don't miss a minute of this year's postseason action by setting a reminder on TuneIn. Just make sure notifications are allowed on your phone and search for your team on the TuneIn app. Find the game you want to hear and tap Notify Me. We'll send you an alert just in time for kickoff.
Like what you're listening to? Want to make getting back to it easier? Use the favorite button to keep track of the stations and podcasts you love on TuneIn. Just tap or click the heart icon to add it to your favorites. Then find all your go-to audio under the Favorites tab. Pretty easy, right?
Along the goal line, Martin scores! He takes it home!
Hockey fans, the 2019-20 NHL season is here.
Here's Pietrangelo, he scores!
And you can hear the action live on TuneIn Premium.
Gonna move, hit a shot, he scores!
From regular season action to the All-Star Game and through the Stanley Cup in June. Hear the home and away call for every game, for every team live. At home or on the go, never miss a game with the NHL on TuneIn Premium.
Upgrade today. We can't make traffic move faster during rush hour, but we can help you catch up on the news with TuneIn. With live around-the-clock news from MSNBC.
In the UK, they're significantly worse. When the president gets up to the podium...
CNBC and Fox News Talk.
The Fox News poll sizing up the race for 2020 found that each of the 5 top Democrats...
You can use your stop and go for good by staying in touch with the world. Search news to hear what's happening now.
1 in professional development support and number 1 in technology support. Ready to partner with the best? Call Commonwealth at 866-462-3638 or visit commonwealth.com and feel the power. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. For 2019 J.D. Power Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
25 years ago, NJIT graduate Dick Sweeney co-founded Keurig Green Mountain, a company whose incredible innovations changed the way the world brews a cup of coffee. Today, he lectures widely on business leadership and is a strong advocate for NJIT's work to combine business education with the power of STEM.
NJIT is definitely fostering the innovative thinking for budding entrepreneurs simply because that's the world we live in. NJIT is producing students that have been trained, educated, and given the business acumen to be a contributor to a company. The distinct mission is to develop great STEM scholars. The attributes I've always looked for in team members are heart, smarts, guts, and luck. So we want people with passion, intelligence, courage, and never discount luck. The student coming out of NJIT has experienced all of that.
NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology. Learn more at njit.edu.
Markets, headlines, and breaking news 24 hours a day at Bloomberg.com, the Bloomberg Business app, and on Quick Take by Bloomberg. This is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
Stocks have gone from down on political tensions with Iran to little changed. Oil off its earlier highs is still in the green. We look at those numbers every 15 minutes at the trading day here on Bloomberg Radio. S&P 500 is a little changed now, down less than 1. The Dow is down 0.2%, down 52, and the Nasdaq is up 0.2%, up 15. The 10-year is down 5/32, the yield 1.80%. West Texas Intermediate crude is up 0.3% at 63.22 a barrel, while COMEX gold is up 0.8% at 15.6560 an ounce. The dollar yen, 108.39. The euro, $1.1187. And the British pound, $1.3162. Sources are telling Bloomberg that Olo, a food ordering software company where Shake Shack founder Danny Meyer sits on the board, is planning a U.S. initial public offering this year. Those sources say the New York-based company could seek a valuation of about $1 billion in the IPO. That's a Bloomberg Business Flash. I'm Eric.
This is Bloomberg Markets with Lisa Abramowitz and Paul Sweeney.